Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a market analysis update for Harmony One. We're going to talk about the key reclaim from the high back here in 2020 around 1.45 cents and why that does represent a bullish sign. We'll cover some key levels of resistance, such as these weekly moving averages that we are currently retesting. And we're also going to talk about Harmony's performance against Bitcoin by looking at the 1 Bitcoin ratio. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below. Feel free to go ahead and check that out as well. I'm fairly active over there with crypto content. So I do want to start off here on the weekly and again talk about the fact that we do have a reclaim above the level at 1.45 cents, which was the high from back here in the year of 2020. That was a level that Harmony One rejected at before entering this several month-long phase of consolidation, and then eventually when Harmony One was able to break out above that level, it really quickly elevated the rate of change of that bull market rally, where we saw from the breakout point on this weekly candle, Harmony One rallied about 220%. So we know this has been a very historically important level of support and resistance, and we did see that breakdown back here in November with the flip right into resistance towards the end of November. And the loss of that level, again, around 1.45 cents, was the bearish scenario, the bearish case, because beyond that, we really didn't have too much support back here in these levels from that 2020 move. But we have seen a reclaim and a recapture of that level over the last few weeks, which is a pretty positive sign, and it really sets up the pattern for this to be a big deviation or fake out where the price on the weekly chart didn't accept below this level. We didn't really see too much continuation to the downside, but rather the bulls were able to recapture that level. So overall, that's a pretty bullish sign, and what we're doing right now is we're rallying right up into these weekly moving averages, the 20 SMA and the 21 EMA. So this is going to be the key level of resistance. This is the same area that we rejected at back here in February on this first breakdown, and then we saw another rejection right here in April. And then lastly, this retest in November. So that is 3 separate rejections over the span of almost 1 year now. So it is a very strong level of resistance that we can look to. Once again, we are seeing that retest over the last few weeks. So Harmony One is at a very critical level right here where it's either going to have some sort of reclaim in the next few weeks where price can get back above these moving averages and accept above this level as support, or we could potentially see yet another rejection similar to the last 3 previous attempts. And ultimately, this will all come down to how Bitcoin's performing. Currently, it's on a pretty significant rally. So if it continues towards that $25,000 region, that would sort of drag the altcoins up above those resistance levels where we would most likely see that level reclaimed. And again, that would be the bullish scenario because we have seen this level as a strong area of resistance for almost the last year. So any break above that would really sort of eliminate the threat of forming those lower highs off those moving averages. The other scenario is again a rejection off the moving averages, which is the same thing that we saw in the last 3 previous attempts. The first being in February, the next in April and March, and then the last being here in November. So if we do see something similar to that, I would expect at the very least a retest of the lows right around 1 cent. But again, this will all depend on how the next few weeks unfold with this very important interaction with these 2 weekly moving averages. So I also do want to talk about the 1 Bitcoin ratio, and this is actually coming up to retest a key level over the last few days, which is going to be this blue line here, the 200-day simple moving average. And when I zoom out here all the way, the 200-day simple moving average has historically been a key area and zone of support and resistance. In the bull run, we typically see this act as support where buyers start to step in at this level and hold the price up. And we saw that time and time again in the last 2021 bull run. But when we're in the bear market decline, this is a level of resistance. And again, zooming into the last few days, you can see quite clearly we do have that rejection on the first attempt on the 16th of January. And since then, we have come back down a little bit. We've also retested this level of support and resistance right around 83 Satoshis. And that was the level that we held all the way throughout these months in 2022 as support, coming down and bouncing off this region multiple times. So we've got some confluence with some resistance right here off of this pretty significant rally from the lows, taking us up around 60%. So logically, this is an area where we can expect the uptrend to cool down a bit, maybe some consolidation before potentially another retest or potentially breaking through these levels of resistance. If we are to have another rejection, which is most likely the scenario if Bitcoin continues on its rally, leaving altcoins behind, then we would just see that underperformance with respect to Bitcoin. And that doesn't necessarily have to be bearish for Harmony One on the USD pair. In that scenario, that would most likely just mean that Harmony One, like many other altcoins, would just move up at a slower rate than Bitcoin, where we see a lot of that strength just flow into the majors, and that Bitcoin rally just sort of has its dominance over the rest of the market. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.